so strong. She is educated, talented. She knows she's a woman.
Hello and welcome to the Extrao Woman Show. On this show, we talk to women who have achieved success in their various fields. Today, I'll be talking to Mrs. Martha Uswado. She is a chartered accountant based in the UK and also the director of Way to Africa Limited, also based in the UK. She's a Pan-Africanist, but she didn't want me to tell you. Hello, Martha. Welcome to the Extrao Woman.
Hi, Amma. Thank you for having me today.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. You do look beautiful too.
Thank you. Okay, so Martha, tell us, who is Martha Uswado?
Martha Uswado is a proud African. I like to be known as an African because that is who I am. Number one, I am a mother of four kids, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Wait, did you say you have 4 kids?
Yes, I've got 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Okay, and you are a chartered accountant?
I am a chartered accountant by profession.
Okay, so how do you juggle the two? How do you combine motherhood, career, living in the UK, being black? How do you do it?
It's not easy, but I think it's just the grace of God, how to sort of manage the home, manage business, and manage all the other things I'm involved in. So it's just women can multitask, so it comes natural.
Yeah, they say we can multitask, but you and I know that having kids 1, 2, 3, 4, and being career oriented, it's never easy. Multitasking doesn't cut it. You will need the extra grace to do it. How do you do it?
Well, I'm not saying it's easy, but it is doable if you set your mind to it. I've got other businesses I'm looking at, and I think it's the drive to make sure I succeed in the other businesses that keep me going. And obviously I've got a lovely family behind me, so they make things very easy for me.
Okay. I'm sure your husband is very supportive.
Very supportive he is,
right.
and I'm sure he's watching now.
Oh, thank you, hubby. All right, so now let's come to accountancy.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I am a fellow member of the ACCA. So you graduate with the ACCA after a few years, then they test you, and then you become a fellow. So I'm a fellow chartered accountant. It's not been easy. Studying was very difficult. Anybody out there would bear witness to that. It's very, very difficult. And working in the UK as an accountant, I find extremely hard. As an accountant, you tend to have a team where the people under you, you manage.
You said working as an accountant in the UK is extremely hard. What makes it extremely hard as compared to working here as an accountant?
Okay. Discrimination is something that is there. They would like to say it's not there, but it is there, especially when you try to climb up. As an accountant, you probably have a few clerks under you. You have an accounts administrator, so you tend to be in charge of all these people, organize their jobs, discipline them when you have to. And oh my God, they will not like to see a black woman. And obviously they know I'm from Africa, so they will not like to see an African dictating and writing out warning letters and everything. They don't like it one bit. So they make your work very hard for you. So you have to have a very tough skin.
Tell us about racism. What's the extreme any person has ever went to?
I didn't know about racism until I went to the UK, because obviously in Ghana everybody's black, so who is more black than the other? The one I want to talk about is a team that I used to work in as an accountant. There were a team of 4 of us. I was the only black person, and the other 3 were all white people. And under our roles are clerks, so we've got about 4 people that report into us. So 4 accountants with 4 individual workers reporting to each role, if you get the team. And then we have a head, a finance manager. So when someone leaves, when you lose a clerk, then you've got to go out there and recruit for a clerk. The process is, you, the accountant, you choose the agency that you want to work with. You invite them to send you CVs. The CVs will come in, you go through the CVs, you shortlist, and then you interview, first interview, second interview, then you decide who you want. You might invite the boss to sit in on the last interview. That's the process. It's been happening to my other team. Then it came to me, one of my clerks left. handed in a notice and left. And so I needed to recruit for an accountant. And guess what happened? I was not involved in anything. All I know is on a Monday morning I came in and it was, hello Martha, meet Michael, he's your assistant accountant.
Wait, you're telling me that the normal process for everybody in that office is to be involved in, recruiting who he or she wants to work with.
Yeah.
But when it got to Martha,
No.
Martha doesn't deserve to be on that table.
No. They didn't think I was clever enough to recruit the right person. Is discrimination just based on the way you look? Not that they're any better in terms of their jobs. In fact, my processes were much slicker and better. But no, they would not let me represent my black face, represent the company in an interview room. And this was really, really bad. It made me so angry I had to leave the company because of this. I did leave the company.
I'm so proud of you that you
did.
left. Tell us about your kids.
Whether
In
they've
school?
had racism.
Yes, are they also
okay.
treated that
Oh,
way?
of course, yeah, they've had their own share. Just before I came to Ghana, I had to deal with an incident that happened at my daughter Courtney's class. Well, they've been saying a
how
few
old is
things.
she?
Courtney is 10 years old,
10
so
years
she's
old,
in
yeah.
she's going to year 6. And we live in a part of UK where it's white dominated. There are a few black people there, but
Where exactly?
it's in Corby. Corby is in Northamptonshire. So in her class, she's the only black person. And she's very, very proud. She's very bold. She'll stand up for herself. So she steps on a few toes in class. And they give it back to her. Things they say to her, go back to Africa. You don't belong here. Chocolate on chocolate. They say all sorts of bad things to Courtney. And then she fights back.
I love that.
Then they were auditioning for a play in class, and the following day she had a few auditionings, like preparing them for
Auditioning for what?
it was a yearly play they do, school play. So she was auditioning. So she had a very nice role she loved. She'd been practicing for the role, but she couldn't come the day before the actual staging. So she said, Miss, they call their teachers Miss, I cannot be there for that day. And then Miss says, okay, Evie, come and do Courtney's role. Evie is a white person. Obviously, Courtney is the only black person. So
okay.
Evie steps in her class, yeah. In the whole school, there are only four black people in the whole school.
Wow.
So Evie steps on the stage. This is Evie's first time of doing this role. Courtney's been doing it every single time. And then Evie does it, and the teacher shout, wow, you're even better than Courtney.
They said that?
The teacher said that in front of the class, and this was year 5 and year 6 class, and Courtney was in tears. She came back to me, and she was in tears. And I was like, no chance, I'm not going to have this. Oh my God. I wrote to the school, I met the governess, and I'm like, there's no way you can say someone is better than another person. This is how you say it, and gets into the kid's mind. And then she starts believing that she's not as good as the white person. And you're not going to do it to my daughter. And so obviously I had to report to the council. I hope to get a letter from them when I go back.
You hope to, meaning they didn't do anything about it?
Well, I've taken it to the Ofsted, where they are the inspectorate body for schools.
Is that the normal procedure when a report is being made by a parent, or this is being treated differently because...
Well, I had to push it because the headmistress wanted to cover up. So they invited me, they got the teacher involved to write an apology letter with flowers to say, Courtney, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Yes, and thought I would be okay with that, but no, that did not move me. And I said no. So the governess called me and then went into a meeting. I said, this is not the first time.
Let me ask you, what do you expect? What is the punishment, or what decision do you expect the school to agree on? What will be fair to you on your side?
What I've requested for is the school's policy on racism, diversity and equality. I want to see what the school says. This is our policies and procedures. So they've sent me that. What I want to make sure is being followed, that they followed it through to the end. So that's the first task. Before this incident, Courtney comes home one day and say, oh, Mummy, my teacher is racist. I said, where did that come from? anytime I raise my hand, no matter how high I raise my hand, she would never call me. And I said, the fact that your teacher doesn't call you doesn't mean she's racist. You're the only black person, so she's got like 1% out of the whole class. So the fact that she doesn't call doesn't mean she's racist. But then I sat back and I said, coming from her, that's what she's thinking. So let me let the teacher know that this is what Courtney thinks. And so next time you call in and you cannot call Courtney for any reason, please add that, oh, Courtney, I'm not calling you because I know you are paying attention. Let me call Zach because I think Zach was
give
not
her
paying
an
attention.
excuse.
So that she understands, because in her mind, she thinks you're racist, and I've got to let you know that. So I called the headmistress, went in, had a chat, and I said, I don't believe one day that the teacher doesn't call Courtney because she's black. But this is what Courtney thinks and is worrying.
So how did that end up?
That didn't go anywhere, and that is why I'm pushing this to the end. That is why I've said I've gotten to the council. Council is like our DCE here, or our local body. So I've taken it from the school, and gone
from
to
the school
to the council, the local council, and said, "This is what my child is
So do you expect
experiencing."
the school to be shut down?
I'm not expecting that. No,
But would that make you feel better?
Well, I don't know. I'm not expecting that, but I want things to change. And the fact that it's only 4 black kids in the whole school of about 120 people, is wrong. And the school has to do something about diversity and equality.
Raising a child in the UK, United States, outside Africa, how different is it? And also, of course, having to deal with racism, cultural differences and all that. As a mother, I'm sure, do you train your children? Can they speak their local language?
Yes, they can. They try. You should hear my daughter speak. You will laugh.
And
a very thick accent, but you understand exactly what she wants to say.
Okay. On a daily basis, do you take them through some sort of empowerment, let them know that you are black, but you do not have to take any, excuse me to say, nonsense from the whites? Do you sort of empower them, let them feel powered, so that in as much as, because bullying is everywhere, even here, we bully ourselves in school, our kids come home and they get bullied. So you can't really take that out completely, but then as a mother, knowing that this one is coming because of the color of their skin, which is no fault of theirs, do you give them some sort of empowerment to let them feel better about themselves?
Yes,
So if you
of
do
course
that?
I do. I mean, I feel sorry for them because what do they know? They've just been born and they're black. And so in their minds, they're like anybody else. I was born here, so obviously I know that I don't belong there. But for them, they're born there from baby, so they know I'm here. I'm part of you. So they feel they're part of them. The white
Tell
people
them you're
don't
not part
think
of us.
that you're part of them, and so they feel some sort of rejection. And so we've had that conversation that this is normal, and I've told them my own experiences, and I've been through a lot. They don't have an accent, so when they're speaking on the phone, obviously you will know whether they're black or white. But with me, obviously with my African accent, I can never get rid of it. So I tell them, you have to have a very thick skin. If anybody gives you one, give them 10. But then they will not come back again. So they fight for themselves. But sometimes they're human, it gets into them, especially when it comes from a teacher. When a teacher is able to say that Evie is better than you.
Yeah. That must hurt, because one, you're an adult.
In front of everybody.
Yes.
Not even just a conversation between Evie is better than you. Really?
So I really hope that you take this to the highest level possible, because we need to stop them some way, somehow. And they need to know that we don't live on trees like they see in documentaries. We are people, we have a life, and we are equally smart, if not smarter, and clever. Now let's talk about Way to Africa.
These things pushed me to do Way to Africa, because I've had people think, Martha, really? Are you African? Are you sure?
Okay, so you're not African, from the color of your skin?
I don't know. You sure? Because all they see about Africa is hungry people, kids begging on the street, guns, civil wars. All BBC and the big ones show are the bad things about Africa, and it's really bad. When that person jumped on the plane, Kenya Airlines, I don't know if you heard it, to come to the UK, hid in the wings, and then flew on someone's patio in in the UK, they showed this all day. It killed me. They showed it all day. All you could hear everywhere, this person, blah, 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 drop dead, blah, 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 blah. But Africa is doing a lot of things, a lot of nice that you will not hear about it. Look at the Free Intercontinental Free Trade Agreement. No mention of it.
Why do you think it's that way? Why?
And what I think is we don't tell our stories as loud as we should. If you let me tell your story for you, if you tell me, Martha, how do I look? I can say whatever I want. Maybe I don't like you. I can say, oh, she's that, she's that, she's that.
But then I'll know you're lying because I know I'm looking fabulous. So don't you think it starts with us?
Yes.
From infancy, our parents growing up, we do not empower our children to grow up to feel confident, powerful, so that the least thing that comes out of anybody's mouth, even black or white, it gets to us.
Yes. The thing is,
I think so.
With me, I've sort of had my life split into two, half in the UK and half in Ghana, growing up as a child, obviously. So I know how Ghana is, and I've experienced the UK. So I can sort of see the difference in culture, see the difference in everything. White people empower their children. They allow them to talk back. We don't. Shut up. You don't respect. And so all these things, we're not confident enough to talk. I feel like sharing my experience at the Chinese embassy with you when I came.
Please do. Please do.
Okay. I came to the Chinese embassy in Ghana for a Chinese visa because I plan to go to China when I go back to the UK. My friend told me, Martha, you have to get here early, so make sure you're there early. So I woke up at 3 and it was a.m. and got there at 4 a.m. No, it was just like 3:30 to 4-ish. Then I got a ticket, so they were giving out tickets. So I got a ticket number 26.
So as at 4 a.m., there was a queue
when I got there.
The others might have probably slept there.
Yes, very, very possible. So the next day, 8 a.m., they started calling out numbers, and for some reason, magic, I don't know what that is, they just pulled people from nowhere to get in front of us. And I was number 20, and even number 10 was still there, and there were like 100 people in the embassy already. Oh my God, I kicked off. They heard from me. I kicked off. I went for the security officer first. He said, Madam, I don't know. I went for the police officer. I went for the next police officer. I know what they did.
No.
The police officer inside came and said, Madam, come and complain to me. Madam, come and complain to me. He took me straight in, processed my documents, and took me out. So he just wanted to pull me, and these poor Ghanaian
who can speak for themselves
were still, I
they're
felt
just
so
being
sorry.
maltreated.
I didn't know when he said come and complain to me, he really just wanted to get rid of me.
Yes, because you are a loud one. Let's get off this one. Let's get rid of this one.
And then deal with
yes,
the rest.
I have a similar experience, but today's about you. So,
this is just to see the Ghanaian respectful way of upbringing.
So basically, we as parents should do our best. Let's teach our children to be powerful right from childhood.
Yes.
So that they can stand up for themselves. Because you won't always be there to, stand up and fight for them. But if you teach them how to be empowered.
Words are powerful.
Exactly.
Careful what you say. Oh, that's not, you are wrong. Don't do that. That beating. No. Encourage.
No, the beating, we have to beat them.
I don't agree with that.
Okay, fine. We have to beat them. All these experiences you've shared with us, did that lead you to Way to Africa?
Yes, it was part of all these things that drove me to start this company called Way to Africa. What we seek to do is introduce businesses from the UK to Ghana. This is where I come from, so charity begins at home. Although we're looking at the whole of Africa. When I visit, anytime I visit Ghana, I see the need, and then I stay in the UK and I see the abundance, and I'm like, it's probably just not matching, we're not matching each other properly. There's a company in Ghana, let's say a shoe factory, looking so much to upgrade their technology so that they can sort of expand business, or looking for money, looking for investment. And there's a company in the UK who's just changing technology almost every single season. And they probably have money to invest somewhere. They're looking at a very good project to put their money in. So the need is here, the money is there. There's not a good matching system. I know the embassies are supposed to do that, but obviously there's so much they can do. So I was like, okay, we'll start this company, and what we will aim to do is to partner companies in the UK with companies in Ghana. So if there's an investor in the UK looking to invest in Ghana, we'll help them. If there's an investor in the UK just looking for somebody to be their face, they don't actually want a presence in Ghana, but they want a face, we'll help them find the right person. If they're looking for a joint venture to sort of share ideas, share technology, share money, share human resource, we'll help them. If they're looking to outsource, we'll help them outsource. On the other hand, if there's a producer in Ghana looking to sort of ship their products, looking for a new market out there, we'll help them find a market out there. So that
you
is
sort
way
of
to Africa.
intermediate between the
Yeah, an
African
agency, yeah.
and the outside world.
Yes, just to promote businesses, to promote investment, to promote jobs, to create jobs for Africans, and to see Africa come up to where it should be. I mean, if you go back to history and you look at Africa, Berlin Conference, 1984-85. So our colonial masters got together in a room and decided, okay, now who has what? Who French, Portuguese, English, who Dutch, who has what? So they just decided, okay, let's split Africa up. And there was no African in the room, by the way. And then we'll know who controls what, so that we don't start fighting over Africa. So they split Africa up into these pieces.
In a room, on a table.
Exactly. Into these pieces we call countries. And that's how you have countries like Djibouti, so small. Who in his mind will create that country? Well, Burundi, so small. Togo, how do you start? Look at a country like China, 1.4 billion people.
And counting.
1.4 billion people. Compare that to a country like Botswana, Namibia, 3 million. You call both of them countries with the same rights as countries. You put them on the world stage. 3 million, 1.4 billion. You put them on the same negotiating table to negotiate over deals. Even before they start, you've lost. Because it's not a fair ground, is it?
No, it's not.
That is why I'm so excited with what the African Union is doing now, to put Africa back as one. Because as one Africa, we are 1.2 billion.
Is that possible?
They're trying, and they're trying really hard, and I'm really, really proud of what they have achieved so far. As one Africa, we're 1.2 billion people. Then you can compare us to the Indians, you can compare us to the Chinese, and we can sit and make sensible trade negotiations. What happens is they come to, let's say, Lesotho, we need this, and Lesotho said, no, I won't give you my gold. No. Guess what? They turn to Burundi. They tend to, they put a pound on and turn to Burundi. They put a pound on, go to Togo. They put a pound on, go to another Democratic Republic of Congo. But as one Africa, we can get to what we want. We can sit on the table, negotiate our prices. I mean, if we close the doors of Africa, what will happen to the phones?
Do you think as Africans, we ourselves want to come together as one?
We have our own issues, and don't get me started on these issues.
I want to get you started. That is the conversation we are having, so please get started. Do you think I want to see my Nigerian brother and call him brother? Do I want to see my Ethiopian sister and call her sister? Do I want to see her and identify as the same people? Do we want to?
If you've experienced what I've experienced, you would call everybody sisters and brothers as long as they are this color. Because that's what happens out there. That's what happens out there. You feel so rejected that if you've gone out, been thrown back, things have been said to you, you've been treated differently just because you are black, you would call any black person, regardless of where the person comes from, as your sister and brother, because you identify with the person. Let's to talk about being from Africa. I mean, we didn't cut ourselves. We were in empires, the Ashanti Empire, the Mali, Egypt. It was a strong economy before they came in and chopped us up. I mean, if you are in Ghana, you can easily identify with what I'm saying. How the Eves have half of their cousins holding a Togolese, speaking another language, holding different passports.
Most of them originate from Togo.
Because somebody just drew the line without thinking that family splits.
Exactly, because they don't care.
It wasn't of their interests. So it's in our own interest as Africans to get together, see the battle ahead of us, and fight it. Improve on every single thing. You tend to find that some of our politicians, not all of them, so I can't say all of them, some of them are selfish, they're short-sighted, and it gets to me because we need to do things for our kids.
So as selfish as some of our leaders are, do you think they want to give up being leaders of us, looking at what they get selfishly? Now they will have to now sit back, step down, and no more minister, no more president, but then you're going to be part of the ordinary Ghanaian and going to have one president.
It's a
one
dream.
Man.
It's a dream. It will be. It's a dream. It's my
doable?
dream. It is possible. Everything is possible if we set our minds to it.
Do we
United
want to
States.
set our minds to it?
Oh yes, that's what they've done. I mean, they met the African Intercontinental Free Trade Agreement. What this is seeking to do is to get away with all these barriers and call Africa one. What they've done, and this has been signed by 54 countries out of the 55, only Eritrea has not signed, but anyway, the majority have signed to it, so they've said, yes, we want to be one.
Is it yes on paper?
No, I don't think
yes,
so.
yes?
And then they needed 22 ratifications. Ratification is for them to go to their laws and say, we are subjecting ourselves to one Africa law. Yeah? They needed 22, they've had 24 back. And Ghana, very proud of Ghana, the day they said, okay, we need ratifications, Ghana actually went into the meeting with their ratification done
Again
already.
and again I ask, is it a ratification on paper or one from within? Are we going to practicalize it? Because we easily sign. See, Ghanaians are people, they will easily sign anything because we want to be seen as peaceful. Yes, and indeed we are. But then when it comes to walking the talk, that is where the problem sets in. How do you see the future of Africa?
Right, I feel
women living in the diaspora. You, Martha, sharing your story, you are one powerful woman. You stood up for yourself. You always do when the need arises. How can other women who growing up didn't have anything to look up to, who didn't have anyone, so now probably they find themselves out there, but some of them go there through other means, and so they can't really let themselves out. How can we as Africans stand up
for ourselves
to the white man? Let them know that, Mr. Jailer, you cannot do this to me. What can we do? What are we doing wrong?
Well, I feel Africa has to be developed by Africans. And that's why I push Way to Africa so much. Africa has to be developed by Africans. You don't go to China and find the black man in the front row. It's the Chinese driving their own thing. You don't come to England and find the black people in the front. No. So we have to push Africa forward. And this is what I keep saying. Africa has to be developed by Africans. We need to get together and develop our Africa. If we do, there will be no need for us chasing for visas to even get out. Look at the breeze. I love it when I come down here. Who would want to be in the winter? I don't enjoy it. But I cannot stay here because obviously some conditions are not quite right for me now at this stage. But if we develop Africa, if we develop Ghana, if we work hard to bring Ghana to where it should be, bring Africa to where it should be, there'll be no need for anybody to be taking the nonsense we do take when we go out.
Thank you very much, Martha. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, for helping us empower other women out there, for being on the Extrao Woman Show. You are indeed an extraordinary woman.
She's beautiful, so strong. She is educated, talented. She knows she